Hi Standard 10. Today I am here, Himangi, your English facilitator, back with you to continue with our story, The Pedestrian. Okay, now after all that we have completed in the previous two modules, I would wish to begin with a critical appreciation of the story. And before I start, as usual, I've got some notes ready for you. So please take a screenshot, a picture, or you can copy it down. Okay, let's read the Pedestrian Critical Appreciation. The story seems prophetic in the wake of the pandemic and its implementations of lockdowns in many countries. Okay, so this basically what we are doing is a critical appreciation of this story according to the time in which it was written. So you have to keep that in mind, okay? The story seems prophetic in the wake of the pandemic and its implementations of lockdowns in many countries. There have been stories of people being stopped when out walking because they had been instructed to stay at home. Guidance and law was so confused that nobody actually knew when a law was broken. They were just not sure. Everything was confused. The protagonist, Leonard Mead, has committed no crime. He has not committed a crime by going out on a walk. But what the state or the police termed as an unusual behavior. So the police or the state found that walking on the road was unusual. So that was a crime he committed. Termed as unusual behavior, going for walks. That leads to his arrest and having him being taken for psychological reprogramming to turn him into a mindless drone like the other inhabitants of the city. That is what they were trying to do. Clearly, Ray Bradbury, the author, is reflecting the time at which he was writing, and as much as projecting a world from a century hence. What will happen after a century? Then Leonard Mead is in danger not only because he does not sit in front of the idiot box, that is the television, but because he is a reminder of the free thinking spirit which others have lost. His only crime is in refusing to plug himself into the electronic brain drainer like his fellow citizens. His habit of walking at night around the city recalls the French idea of the flaneur. What is a flaneur? A flaneur is an affluent, observant wanderer who detaches himself from the modern hustle bustle of life to act as a detached spectator. So he is not just a loafer on the road, but he is akin to the French word that we call as a flaneur, and the meaning of flaneur I have given you. Okay. Ray Bradbury has shown the protagonist as a free spirit, refusing to conform to the norm of being a non-thinking, electronic-like human. The author suggests that in a society that is corrupt or broken, non-conformity is necessary to maintain one's humanity. Okay, so I think the notes are very clear. It's very easy for you to understand. I don't think I need to explain anything in the note that I've given you, except the point that we need to remember what the writer is trying to convey to us, that we cannot have a society which is desensitized. We cannot live in a society which just because everybody has to conform to a certain thing, you cannot say that non-conformity is a crime. It is a non-conformity. It cannot be a crime. And the protagonist is a representation of a person who is a free mind thinker, who can think for himself. Okay. So that is it. And we need that to maintain humanity. You cannot have police cars which act like, you cannot have robotic police cars which become your police and they just take you away because according to what they are fed. No, you have to see the surroundings, you have to see the evidence, you have to see everything. That is what he is trying to convey to us. Okay. Now we come to the themes. Now what exactly are the themes of the pedestrian? As usual, I have written it down for you. Please take a note. So that much for the next for the theme. Okay, you can take this also. This is also part of the theme. Take this one also. Okay, so now let's read it quickly so that we know what exactly the author, what are the themes that the author has given us. The first one, of course, is very obvious, and that is dehumanization and technology. Okay. The Pedestrian is a dystopian story based on the theme of the dehumanizing effect of technology on people in an unnamed city in the year 2053 AD. Way in the future, 2053 AD. There is no individuality or creativity. People are simply cogs in a machine and are not free to think for themselves. Technology has deadened the people, and the government is trying to enforce conformity. The government is trying to enforce that people conform to this. A lack of personal connection is also seen in his arrest. There is no personal connection. The robotic police car is programmed to get information and make a decision. There is no room for judgment, for a judgment call, or for understanding. The society is dehumanized by its dependence on technology. So the society has become over dependent on technology. The moment he comes into contact with the robotic police car, he is portrayed like a helpless insect. Who? The protagonist. He is totally entranced. His individuality vanishes as he is forced to interact with a robotic authority. He does not want to interact with a robot, but he is forced to interact with that because of the warning that they told him that if you move, we'll shoot you. Okay, so he is forced to talk to them. Described as a bug on display. So while they were talking, if you have read the story properly, you will see that the robotic police car is describing him as a bug on display, ready to be killed for research and experimentation. This foreshadows Mead's likely end when he loses his freedom and is taken away to a psychiatric institution. The author is clearly warning the readers against the dangers of relying too much on machines to such a great degree that they could control humans rather than the other way around. So instead of the humans controlling the machines, we might land up where machines start controlling the humans. Next theme is non-conformity. I've given you markers for non-conformity. Okay. First one, enjoyment in solitary walking. So he used to enjoy. So he does not conform to sitting inside and in front of his TV. He does not conform to that. So enjoyment in solitary walking. You can make your own sentences. These are your main signposts which I want you all to bear in mind, or these points you must give when you're writing about the theme of non-conformity. So enjoyment in solitary walking. Being a writer, not written for so many years because no one reads. So he has stopped writing. So that is a non-conformation, isn't it? He is no longer a writer actually, even though he is a writer, and that is why they say that is no profession. He doesn't own a television and he is unmarried. Okay. We come to the next theme. So remember, all of you all better get married. Okay, isolation. There is no evening activity in the world. Human interaction outside the family is limited to daytime. So if you want any interaction, human interaction outside your family, then it can be only in the daytime. In the evening, there is no social activity at all. You have to be in your family. That's it. Okay. So while walking through the silent, long and empty streets, inverted commas, because that I have quoted from your textbook. So please bear that in mind. Wherever you see a single inverted comma, children, you will understand it means that it is a quote from the textbook. While walking through the silent, long and empty streets, Mead feels he is walking through a graveyard. This portrays that the landscape has been made barren by the television, which everyone is watching at home. People sit like the dead. This implies that there isn't much interaction even between the family members. So even though there are a lot of family members watching the TV or watching the idiot box, what happens is they are not interacting with each other. They are just concentrating on what is being shown on the screen. So there is less interaction even within the family people. In fact, you must have noticed it now also. Sometimes, many of you would be sitting with your family people on your dining table or something, having your breakfast or having your lunch or dinner together, or maybe a Sunday. But most of us, we are either disturbed by a sudden peep which says you've got a message, or a sudden call, and you quickly go to pick that up, or then you are just simply surfing through your mobiles trying to see what is the latest news, and in that surfing you are connected to the world, but you are totally disconnected from your own family. Therefore, dinner time, lunch time, breakfast time, or whichever time you are sitting and spending with your family, try to avoid being connected to the world. Connect with your own family first and then connect to the world. Otherwise, you'll be connected to the world and disconnected from your own family. Please, it is not some sage advice that I'm giving you. It is looking into the future so that we do not reach the stage which has been described by Ray Bradman. It is a real awakening for all of us. We really need to wake up. Okay? I really feel very strongly about this subject, and that is why I'm so affirmative. And that is the reason I love literature. Because it takes you into the future. I mean, look at the imagination of the author, where he has reached 2053. That is the place he has reached. And it is so true what he has written. This could happen. So people sit like the dead. This implies that there isn't much interaction even between family members. The people are emotional-less, as they are metaphorically dead. So this is a metaphorical comparison where he says that people sit like the dead. Okay? Or you can even say it is a simile, because the word like has been used. So people are sitting like the dead people. There is no movement. Motionless. The people are emotionless as they are compared metaphorically dead. The grey or the multicolored lights touching their faces but never really touching them. I've explained this to you. The people of 2053 are more concerned with the sensational arena of the television program than with their own physical surroundings. They are so concerned with the sensation that is happening in front of them that they are not bothered about their physical surroundings. They don't care to see who's walking on the road or go for a walk, nothing. Sit in front of the television. They are superficially touched by, inverted commas mein hai, they are superficially touched by what they are watching, and that has no impact upon them. So here there is a satire. The poet has used, the author has used a satire. Please write that down. I have forgotten to mention it, and that thought just came to my mind. So it is a satire, it's a satirical comment by the author where he's saying that people are touched by what they are watching on TV, but they are not touched with the joys and sorrows of the people around them. You understand? That is what he's saying. So those people with whom you are touched on TV, actually they have no impact on your life. That is what he's saying. These societal norms serve to isolate Leonard Mead, and he walks alone through the lonely streets of the city. That is what they are saying. Then the next theme is the theme of nature versus city. Please make that into an S. Nature versus city. For Mead, walking outside is not just a hobby. It is a reverent act which is similar to worship, which rejuvenates him. He enjoys his walks amidst the natural surroundings. He walks, he whistles, he hears sounds, he smells the rusty smell. So all this is something that rejuvenates his spirit. When you sit for prayer, when you want to pray to God or something, you sit so that your spirit is rejuvenated, not that you become despondent or sad. Isn't it? So for him, this walk that he's taking in the evening is almost like a reverent act, as if he is worshipping God. And who is the God over here? Nature. Okay. He enjoys his walks amidst the natural surroundings. He walks, whistles, hears sounds, smells the rusty smells. Second marker, for Mead, this sensory connection with nature provides a sense of satisfaction and contentment, quite in contrast to the people in their houses glued to their electronic gadgets. So this is the theme of nature versus the city. So we have a lot of themes over here, and please go through all the themes, all the critical appreciation, and with that I come to an end of this story, and I hope you all have understood everything. Do practice your workbooks, practice writing in your workbooks as much as you can. Okay, see you all at the next module with a new story or a new poem. If I have left out anything, let me just check up. Bye everyone.